Let's do it, go.
Welcome to season 2 of This Mobile Life. This is the lost episode. As previously we recorded a few days ago and Jamie's SD card broke down and we're attempting to do the redux.
of all the things to fail, Matthew, like this $30 card failed. And it's similar to the space shuttle, like $1 billion machine, a 10-cent O-ring, and it blew up. So I said, the cheapest thing failed. We've got an all-new card, fitter, faster, better, and we're back.
It's like those hip-hop albums, and then there's like the rapper dies or whatever, and then all these mixtapes are surfacing up as well that he's recorded in the background.
Oh yeah, ODB and Tupac.
Yeah. It was like Tupac had Machiavelli, and that came out after he died. I think like a few weeks or a few months after he died, and it was like a top-selling album. And then they just kept squeezing it more and more to get more and more stuff out of it. Same thing with Biggie as well. So.
And there's also a theory that he wasn't really dead. There's a bit of a conspiracy theory floating around as well.
I don't think I've got as hardcore fans as Biggie or Tupac.
Not yet, Matthew, not yet. And a quick caveat, we're filming in 360 as well, so we're going to have a bit of fun with it. So the guys watching can either use a mouse to scroll around or use your phone or Google Cardboard or VR glasses to have a look around. We've just placed some stuff around for a bit of fun, so if you get a little bit antsy, feel free to have a look around.
Yeah, so tell me a bit about this 360 video thing. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, well, I said just a quick update on how Matthew and I know each other. We worked together probably 7 years ago, really roughly, don't quote me. Worked in agency land together. That's how we know each other. And then I've since left agency land and had my own video production business, but a bit of a tech geek as well. So I love staying in touch with sort of latest cool stuff. So I was playing with augmented reality sort of 3 years ago before
Pokemon Go.
Man, it was just this perfect nexus. It's just blown up, but it's really seamless and it's amazing, right? But anywho, I've been following some developments in video. We've got drones and all that kind of cool stuff as well. 4K camera, slow-mo, but 360's come out. And it's really fun. It's sort of changing what we do. If we were filming this with a normal camera, me as a director would be telling you where to look. You'd either be looking at Matthew or me. Yep. But the nice thing about 360 now, it films in a sphere. So this is like 2 GoPro lenses bolted on. They're stitched together inside the camera to make this 360 sphere. So the viewer at home or on the bus or wherever they are can choose where they look around the frame. So they could be watching me now while I'm talking, or they could actually pan around and have a look at you and go, is Matthew asleep? Is he bored? Or what's happening? Or what's in that chair opposite the guy? So you can actually have a look around and choose the frame. So it's quite fun. It's quite new. I don't think anyone's really nailed how to do it yet, but we did some stuff with Maserati. We sat in one of their new cars that they've launched, and we did a little bit of a walk through the features of the car, which is quite fun because people could just look around at the dash or the skylight or watch us or pick their own adventure. But it creates a MP4 file with a spatial data layer baked in, like an XML file or something. Mm-hmm. It's just baked in there natively. So if you watch this on your laptop, it'll be a flat picture. But once you upload it to YouTube or Facebook, their encoders will crawl and go, oh, okay, it's 360. Then they'll render it with that spatial data into a 360 sphere. So as a producer or a content creator, there's not a lot of, crazy technical stuff you have to do. So those servers will just do it for you. So and it's great that YouTube and Facebook are taking that leap.
Yeah, I've seen them on Facebook. It's got like that 360 watermark on it and like a globe logo, I think. That's it. But I haven't seen them on YouTube. Is that a new thing on YouTube?
YouTube's been doing it since late last year, November, December, late last year. The tech's around, there's a lot of early adopters. It's kind of like Oculus Rift. It's not mainstream yet. And there's a few ways you can get into 360 video. This is quite small, tactical, agile way to get into it. The device is small. It's half the size of my phone. But the quality softens a little bit because it's a HD image. Think of it as a 1920 by 1080 image, but it's being stretched into a full sphere. So it is technically HD, but those pixels are getting stretched further to cover a sphere. But you can go all the way up to, look, we can go and rig 8 or 10 or 12 GoPros filming in 4K. So you've got a 48K plus image, but there's a lot of overhead. You've got tons of data, gigabytes and gigabytes of data to go and sync and render and produce. And the cost to actually turn that around goes up exponentially.
Yeah. And do you think that 360 video increases user engagement? Like because they can explore and do things?
I poo-pooed it initially. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Yeah. But since using it, And I've been embracing the VR glasses stuff, and I'm gonna sprout some virtues of YouTube here. This is why I kind of like what YouTube's doing. We can film this on this little camera, upload it. YouTube natively supports 360, but there's a little button on the corner. If you click the Google Cardboard, it just turns it into a VR compatible image, just using your phone and some $2 cardboard glasses. I just love that it's super accessible, and you can potentially create the content once and use it in 3 or 4 different ways. So you can use it on desktop, tablet, phone. It's supported natively, and then also just press the cardboard mode and use your Google Cardboard to look around with that spatial data. It's fun. I'm kind of really enjoying it now. Jungle Book did a really great preview for the new Jungle Book movie.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, in 360.
Not in 360.
They had the trailer in 360. It was awesome because you could watch Babu eating the bananas, or you could cruise around and have a look at the peanut gallery. It felt really fun. So I found that my brain felt like I got excited at all these new options.
So I kind of get it for if you're wearing glasses because you can explore. But when you're on the computer, normally most people, I presume, just watch it as is, like as a flat image. They don't really.
Well, but you can drag with the mouse. So as you mentioned before, if you embedded it on Facebook, there'd be like this little mouse, this little globe. Yep. So there's visual cues from user experience that they're trying to let you know there's more stuff you can do. So there's a lot of education to be done. I think it's still another 12 months before it really takes off.
Yeah, I wonder whether people look at it on their mobile as well, because it's already a small screen. Would they then be flicking around?
Well, you can move the, because of the gyroscopes, you can actually move the mobile around.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, or you can scroll with your hand. So that's what I like about it. It's got a few different touch points. There's a little bit of education to go because it can be confusing. The first couple of times. I said, I'm still getting my head around it. But it is good. Like now we're filming, there's a bit of a scene so people can either look at the recorder and check that it's working this time. They can check out the snacks. We've got our names here. We've got a little stopwatch. You can see what sort of beer we're drinking. There's some fun things to do. We've done some real estate walkthroughs. So a mate of mine's got a tree house, so we stuck it in the middle of the tree house. Because we took flat pictures of the tree house, you just don't get the amazing tree house vibe. So we just put the 360 in the middle, and I just walked around with Lionel, and he gave me a little tour. So it's got a fireplace, it's got a kitchen, it's got a spa. So people could either follow us and on the tour, or they could just self-guide themselves and hear us giving the tour. The Mythbusters guys and Nat Geo did a really nice one with scuba diving underwater. They're going down to a wreck. And they spoke about the sharks following you and the wreck, and it's fun.
I reckon that's a good analogy, like you taking someone on a tour, and when they go on a tour, they don't necessarily always look at what you're showing them. Like they're looking around like the sky, or what's on the wall, or what's on the floor, or chatting to someone. So it allows them to explore. Agree.
And we all sample the world slightly differently. Yeah, you might be in the patterns or the texture of the roof, or some other people might be thinking about the structure or the architecture, or the sounds or the light. So it's interesting. You can.
Yeah. And what's the hardware using? Like as you mentioned, it's like a third to half the size of like a foreign. It looks like it's pretty thin as well.
Yeah, it's a Ricoh Theta S. So there's a couple of photographers I follow, pro guys online that have been early adopters of this. Philip Bloom. So I picked it up off his. It does 360 photos as well, which is really handy. It's got like Wi-Fi as well, so I could sit here on the phone and just self-trigger a sort of cool 360 picture. Doesn't always work, but it's a good entry into 360 that's cost effective for events and brands, and then you can go all the way up to, as I said, you can have 8, 10, 12 GoPros in a rig, but you have to manually stitch them all together. So it's tons of data. If you're shooting 4K, I'd have to sit down on the calculator, but it's just gigabytes and gigabytes of data. You have to then come and sync it all together because there's separate 360 sources, and then you have to sync them all, do a post-grade, and then export them. So it gets really, really expensive quickly. Really, really handy gadget. And Samsung brought out their new 360 camera recently as well that shoots in 4K. So there are some limits to it. This will have like a full soccer ball resolution. Think about like a Pokemon Go ball, right? You can look right to the floor or right to the roof. There's a few out now that some of the retailers are selling. They're saying they're 360, but I'm going to go on a limb and say they're sort of more like 280-ish, give or take. Because you only see 360 around you, you can't look at the floor or the roof.
Okay.
So as you look up, you'll see black bands. So I love that this was just full 360, and I'd love to do something like a whodunit crime mystery in 360. So if you or I are over here, we can, someone's getting hit in the head with a candlestick in the background, and the viewer can actually solve the riddle before you do in the room, or something comedic in 360 would be quite fun.
Yeah, we're totally like geeking out here.
yeah, we are.
So how much would this thing go for?
These are, I think this one I got, this is about 600 US.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be like maybe 700, 750 Australian.
Yeah, 850 with a bit of postage or something.
Yeah,
They might have come down since then. I haven't been tracking them. You've got the old Moore's Law, but they're quite handy. And it said, we're dog fooding, we're testing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
We've got the Google Cardboard, we've got a bunch of those.
Yeah. It's actually an interesting segue. Like you and I were talking on the phone the other day about mobile video and also Flash, because it's been announced this week that Mozilla is stopping support of Flash, and you would have had a bit of a background in Flash in your earlier days as well.
I was a bit shocked, Matt, when Matt spoke to me. I thought Flash had been stopped a few years ago.
I thought it was already dead.
I just stopped following it, yeah, for some reason. I just figured they'd, kind of like Internet Explorer 6, I figured they've just sort of stopped it like 2 or 3 years ago. Because we've just been doing a lot of stuff in YouTube. I just believe in YouTube because it's got the high amount of just organic search traffic. If you do good content, it can get found. Hang on. That's our we'll keep going. That's our 360 video on preview.
We've got sound effects happening in the background.
We can technically cut this out.
So that was the episode that was lost, and we're trying to recover it. And then now we've got some of it. So Jamie's seeing what it is. So it'll be interesting to see what we can recover.
But we can. I just while we're here.
It's very meta. We're doing a video, and then we're showing a video about us talking about a video.
Watching the previous video. Well, this is to watch it on the machine. I've had to render it through the Theta app to give it the 360 spatial data. I'll just turn the brightness up here. So if you just view it on a normal computer, it'll be flat. But this is it in 360.
That's really cool how it looks.
I've turned the audio off, but this is with...
That's awesome.
Come on, man. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And at full 360, I'm going to pan right to the roof. So you can just check out the roof.
Yeah, and go to the ground as well.
Yeah, we can go to the ground. So we've got a couple of tinnies. We've got a NBA hat there. And we can actually see it was recording. So I've got proof
awesome.
that it wasn't here now. So anyway, that's just a quick little demo.
Cool. So we're talking about Flash. Like the reason that a lot of companies have started moving away from it in a lot of online properties, Flash was seen as more, unstable, a bit of a security risk as well. And also Flash didn't work on mobile. And so like YouTube and Facebook, a whole bunch of other online properties have moved away from Flash to HTML5.
Yeah, okay. Are they moving away? Because I remember back in the day, if you wanted to do like a video stream or something, you get a pop-up flashes requesting use of your camera to stream. So that's the function now. They've got new protocols to handle that.
Yeah, and then that's just a barrier for adoption as well.
Yeah,
like even Adobe is stopping support of Flash.
Yeah.
So everyone's moving away from it. And maybe Mozilla was like the last remnant of a company that was still using it. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I guess the other big news that's happened this week is Yahoo being bought by Verizon. That was crazy. I mean, there's always rumors about it, but yeah.
We had a quick chat on the original version 1.0. Is that what we call it? But I caught a headline today. It sounds like they've got a master plan. Verizon's got a master plan now for buying Yahoo.
Yep.
They're wanting to tackle Facebook and Google around this real-time bidding engine or something. It was on Bloomberg's.
Okay.
I can share that later, but it gave a little bit more rationale around why. Because I remember a few people like, why?
Well, yeah, it was probably around two things, like online advertising and content, right? Because Facebook and Google just dominate online ads. Like if you had a product you wanted to sell, they're probably two of the places that you would advertise: Google AdWords and Facebook ads, right? And they're trying to create another player by basically consolidating AOL and Yahoo, all their properties together.
Yeah, create something compelling. I was having a think on the way down because we had a chat. You mentioned that I kind of love YouTube because I just love it, just getting that natural organic traffic. Similar to Google, I think of it as Google organic search, but for video. And then I was thinking about Facebook. That's simply like the social channel. So we're nearly getting two dominant players. So I'm guessing Google's still just controlling organic search. But in that social traffic space and time on site and engagement, I'm guessing like Facebook's the heavy hitter in that place at the moment.
Oh yeah, they're killing it. Like they've got something like 1 billion monthly active users, like 66% are daily active users as well.
Yeah.
And so they're nailing in terms of engagement. All the eyeballs are on Facebook, but I still think like if you got some kind of information request, like how to do this, or I want to find something really quick, you're gonna go to Google to look up something.
Yeah.
And Facebook is where you go to hang out and to socialize, to connect with your friends and to kill time.
That's what I was thinking on the way down, walking down the street. We've got search and social, the two key channels, two key players. They've both got a layer of paid PPC around them. You can sort of boost or juice or... Because I was thinking, I don't know, I don't go to Facebook to search how to DIY. You know, it is more of that social, what's happening, what news are people surfacing back through.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one. Hey, their shares are a nice boost. They had revenue announcements last night, I think. They're up 16 to 20% today.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, and I guess by way of disclosure, I'm actually a Facebook investor. And one of the things is you try not to look at the share price too often. But I just think they've got tons of engagement, so much potential. They've got some awesome businesses in the stable with Instagram and WhatsApp, which I think are untapped in terms of monetization as well. Yeah. But it's interesting, Google's obviously tried to move into social as well. They had the Google Plus, Google Buzz, and they also added social signals to search as well.
Yeah. It didn't seem to really stick.
No, not really. I don't think Google is really good at doing social products.
They don't seem to... I know there's a few search guys I know that they still push Google Plus. It apparently gives you some extra link juice or something for organic.
I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I do the same thing as well. Yeah. So you just think
there was rumours, unconfirmed rumours. Sorry, don't want to...
It's like if you have a mobile listing page and then say on Google Play, and then there actually is a button that shows number of tweets and Facebook likes and Google Pluses. I don't think it actually makes a difference, but as social proof, it's you say, it's got 1,000 Google Pluses, it's got 10,000 Facebook likes. You're this must be legit. Right? Other people like it. But the best thing about Google Plus is when you go to that Google Play listing, it actually says Jamie also likes this or uses this,
actually, that's fun.
And same as say my friend Dom also likes this as well. Or has left a review or something like that.
I agree, because I've been looking at movies to watch, sci-fi movies, and a few of you guys have popped up. Okay, similar taste, I'll check out.
Yeah. So I think that's where they're trying to move into social.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's interesting, because arguably Facebook has dominated in the mobile era, right, which is right now. So they've got 4 of the top 5 or top 6 apps on the App Store. So it's Facebook, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram. Right, and they're probably 4 of the top 5, and the other one's probably now it's probably Pokemon Go and Snapchat. But the thing is, they now cannot be moved from the App Store. They're kind of embedded there, they're entrenched, right? They're unshakable, right? Yeah. And the thing is, Facebook Messenger has about 1 billion users now, about the same amount as the Facebook app. Yeah, it's absolutely huge, and so their strategy of splitting off Facebook Messenger from Facebook has paid off. To have something that was really quick and easy to use to send messages, but to be able to compete against WeChat and WhatsApp, which they've now acquired, Line and Kakao and all those other chat messages. Okay,
they've bundled it in. Yeah, I know Facebook's doing a lot of the live, Facebook Live. Look, we've been live streaming. I've been live streaming for over 10 years, 10 to 15 years. We used to do it on TV, but the state of the internet was so crappy. The only thing really holding all of that back was the state of the internet. But it's interesting. We had the periscopes and things, and then Facebook's pivoted into Facebook Live. But I do like how if someone's streaming live, it's at the top of your feed. I do turn it off. It's a bit spammy. I don't want to see someone doing
their laundry. I feel like it's not production quality. Whereas Snapchat, it's it's a fun, stupid thing that someone's made. Yeah. Whereas Facebook, it doesn't really make sense to me right now, the online video. I mean, the live streaming video.
Yeah, it's handheld, it's shaky, the audio's a bit sketchy, the sound's sketchy, but we were at an event recently and the guys were streaming the launch of this new Maserati Levante SUV, and there's something like 13,000 views or something. Yeah. Because it caches it and you can watch it back video on demand. But everyone was watching it. It was crazy. The nice thing was, as you watch a stream back, I watched the stream back afterwards, you could just see where people were liking and reacting to the video. That was really nice. Have you watched back a Facebook Live video?
Yeah, I have. And I think you can even see the some little line, and it tells you
that's exactly you'd see viewers, and you'd get Jamie liked it at 1 minute 10. Yeah. The comments had sort of I thought that was quite neat.
I reckon they took that idea from Periscope. And Periscope had that, maybe they took the idea from Meerkat, because you can see when someone hearted the video and you see this heart pop up and you see this flurry of hearts. Yeah, and that kept you engaged, and then you could add some to the stream as well.
The gamifying it. The old term gamify.
It's like Russell and Kogan explained it as well. If you go to a restaurant or a store and it looks really busy, you want to join as well. So what he did on his website on kogan.com.au was to show, there's this little message at the bottom saying, someone from like Bankstown has bought this in the last 2 minutes, and then someone from the city has bought this, someone from Perth has bought this. It shows this flurry of activity, and it's like, oh, this is really popular. This is it's trying to bring back this kind of shopping line experience.
Yeah, I think it's a really neat idea. He borrowed that from Zappos that did it 2 or 3 years earlier. Zappos had a map of the US. I used to watch it. It was a bit, I'd geek out a bit. It's like I used to watch the computer while it defragged, but you get pop-ups. Utah, Bob bought some gumboots. You get all these pop-ups around the US when someone bought something. It's a really neat idea.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Hey, they IPO'd recently too.
Is that boss?
Oh, no.
Oh, Kogan, yeah, I saw that.
But it was really quiet. No fanfare, no brass bands. I just loved that it was quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in my network because they're mostly technology early adopter people. And it was posted in Sydney startups. But yeah, I think it was kind of more like low key. So yeah.
Which for Kogan, he's generally
it's very
gets
different,
a lot of media attention.
He's definitely someone that's very brash, he's out there, he's very kind of adversarial as well. Yeah. So he's willing to take on. So by way of background, because I've got a lot of overseas listeners as well, Kogan is a really big online electronics store, which kind of started from scratch, I don't know, maybe say 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I think one of his key differences was he also made his own stuff as well.
I think he was kind of like Richard Branson's Virgin Atlantic. Richard Branson couldn't get a flight out of the Caribbean, the story goes. So he ended up getting his own charter flight and filled it himself. So I think Kogan couldn't get a telly. He just ran around and got minimum order, put it all on his credit card, got a bunch of friends to chip in and did a minimum order of $3 or $6 grand from a Chinese manufacturer. So he said that was him starting his own brand.
So he started with Kogan TVs and then he's branched into other like white goods and other electronics and stuff like that.
He's nearly an online Walmart kind of thing. Without the clothes and the food. It's just toothbrushes, cameras, I said TVs, computers.
It's like you're cutting out the middleman, like you're buying it basically from this wholesaler or direct from the manufacturer. And he controls that whole line of distribution, almost like the vertical integration.
Yeah, super clever. And in Australia, we've had some incumbents like a Harvey Norman or a JB Hi-Fi. So he's coming in there and disrupting those guys because a lot of our big box retailers with stores poo-pooed the online phenomenon for years and years and years at their own detriment. But he's going to be a billionaire.
Well, yeah, he probably already is. But
he's probably I was keeping
half.
I was keeping a close eye on him, like maybe 350 to 450.
Yeah. Interesting thing is he actually bought dicksmith.com.au. So he didn't buy Dick Smith, just the online property, which I thought was really smart.
And Dick Smith's our version of, say, a Best Buy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of equivalent, say, North America.
And then it just went down. Not went down, but like they went bust. They had too much inventory. Very, very controversial.
Yeah, really dodgy sort of VC funding deal. They baked the books a bit, allegedly. But yeah, he bought all the online. He's really cool. He bought all the online business of.
And they tried to move everyone over to Kogan. It was quite, I think, I wouldn't say aggressive. It was just like saying, hey, we're shutting this down. And they started sending you like Kogan emails and stuff.
Ah, right. I thought they were going to keep the online Dick Smiths alive.
There's no value in it. Like, they're probably trying to roll them into Kogan, I imagine. So,
over a 3-6 month period.
It's the whole like M&A takeover, roll into my property strategy. So,
but he's very savvy, very sharp, bright businessman. Really well
he's quite a character as well.
Now I'm just going to stop 360 because we'll hit our record limit. It's similar to some DSLRs have a record limit of 25 minutes. So it's a file size thing.
Okay.
But we've kicked off again, we're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, just talking about mobile, we've been doing a lot of training with the YouTube guys and it's interesting, they're deprecating a few of their features from desktop. Desktop previously you could have a video with some annotations like a click to buy or a click to our website. But they're deprecating annotations in lieu of their mobile cards. So there's a thing called cards on YouTube now, it's like a playlist. But they're admitting openly that something like 50 or 60% of their viewership's all mobile, by the way. So that's going to change the way we produce and the way we frame footage as well. Because you don't want to go and get really big wide shots of stuff because people can't see it on a small screen. So it changes the way you approach production.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like, I think with a lot of these properties now, a lot of the traffic is coming from mobile. I'm actually thinking of writing a blog post. Normally people say mobile first. I was going to call it mobile thirst. Like there's this pent up demand. There's this being untapped right now. So they're interesting. Like, what do you see as the other key differences in like mobile videos? Obviously, also different channels. Now you've got like Instagram video, Snapchat, like short form content as well.
I guess having an agency and a bit of a strategic background, I guess. For me to digest it, I try to break them into channels So who am I trying to reach? How am I trying to reach them? And I guess we've all got limited bandwidth, and if you're a brand or whoever, you got limited budget, you can't fish anywhere or everywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess you want to be effective with your time. So I'm just trying to just personally keep an eye on Facebook. I know the engagement high is there. I'm getting my head around Instagram. I'm really enjoying Instagram.
Yeah.
For the camera, video stuff we do, there's a cool little community of guys sending up like geek video equipment shots. Got the latest gadget, the latest Sony. So I'm finding a really nice niche community there. It's great to share videos there, short form videos. They've got, it's old news now probably to the viewers for a while. Instagram had a 15-second limit. Now they can support a minute. So you can do a little bit more. Yeah, you can do a little bit more on Instagram. That's probably 3 or 6 months old, that release. But that was kind of a bit of a big deal. So when we will go and, approach production for a client, we can do some longer form clips, 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We'd still probably say put it on YouTube just because it's that search volume. Also put it natively on your Facebook. Then we can actually do some cut down 1 minutes for Instagram as well. So I guess it comes down to that channel strategy. I know Snapchat's starting to grow, and I know it's pretty huge in the US. I'm not across any stats here in Australia, but I got to hang out and spend a day with Gary Vee recently, and he's a fervent Snapchat evangelist. But Snapchat's starting to do some, pretty awesome numbers. They're going to be a bit of a big deal, but they're changing the face for us for video. Everyone's going back to vertical video now instead of the old landscape. It's going into that portrait model. For a lot of years there, everyone would go, whatever you do, don't shoot portrait, which is that long and skinny.
I think you told me that.
Yeah, but the retention, the engagement metrics around portrait video are just huge now. And I think it's just a small user experience thing. Like, you're across user experience. If I've got to turn the phone or I'm on the bus or whatever, it's just...
It's awkward.
If I can just hold it natively and I'm enjoying the content, great. So the rates around portrait video are starting, particularly driven by Snapchat. It's starting to turn the tables on some of those traditional approaches to framing or producing content.
So what happens when you turn it landscape? Do you see the 2 black bars on the side? Or it doesn't work when you flip it sideways?
Generally, I think they'd call that pillar box. I haven't tried to turn it landscape.
I don't think it works landscape like Snapchat and
I've got a feeling it doesn't. No.
Like when you watch a video or Instagram, it's just portrait mode, right?
Because I have mates that'd be shooting content. I'm like, man, go landscape. Because if they shoot in landscape, we can edit it for them in 16:9. But portrait, we can't do much with it. But I think you're right. I don't know anyone using Instagram in landscape mode. It's just that natural ergonomics of holding it in your hand. That just seems to be the way of the world.
I think it's like quick usage. You're going to look at something real quick, time waster, 1 minute, maybe a couple minutes. Maybe like you're on the bus or in the train or out and about. Maybe they don't even have time to flip it sideways. Like
it's like that use case. As you said, people having a bit of a snack between a quick check in. Oh, what's happening? Oh shit, there's been an update or someone won the footy or
it's just convenience. Like it's in portrait mode. You quickly look at it, put it away.
Next, okay.
Yeah. We talk a lot about in mobile like burst usage. So maybe you just want to use it for like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, like real quick, get in and out. And so I've always tried to design my apps, depending what it is, but like for speed, right? Optimizing for getting what you want very quickly and then getting out again.
Are you measuring the analytics off the back of that? Have you got a way to manage or?
Yeah, you can measure like session length. You can also measure like retention, how often are they coming back, how many sessions per day as well, how many minutes per day.
At that page level, and you can test A/B test layouts?
You can't really A/B test layouts easily, but you can test or you can get analytics if they're looking at a certain tab and a certain thing is how do they get to content.
So you get some data, but you'll have to make some assumptions.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is, A/B testing is a bit harder on mobile than compared to web.
That's interesting,
and it's still like in its infancy, like A/B testing on mobile. But,
that's good. Because I know A/B testing is getting quite sophisticated now. So
on the web it is.
Well, yeah, but even for creative, because mind you, it's sophisticated probably for a certain demographic. But with creative agency land, we'd always go with 2 creative for clients. They'd have like a generic and an offbeat, whether it's a text-based PPC, whether it's banners, whether it's Facebook thumbnails and things. Always just sort of test a couple, have a bit of a scientific approach, and then double down, which is kind of the lean model to a degree.
It's harder on mobile for a couple of reasons. One of them is that, like, you have to say you're on iTunes. You have to submit your app to the App Store. It's not that easy to update. You have to go through this approval process.
So there's a barrier there.
Yeah, but then there are some technologies that are making it easier to do that. Or maybe you can control some things on the server side. You might say, hey, I don't know, 50% of people see this, 25% of people see this, and another 25% see that.
Yeah, so you can set up some rules.
Yeah. But I haven't seen many companies do it. It's mainly a lot of the larger companies that are doing that.
Is Android a bit easier to do that stuff? Are there less barriers? You don't have to go through it.
Yeah, I mean, Android's always been a lot easier to release stuff on the App Store. I mean, you can get it out there in like a couple of hours to a day.
Versus the 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, it's actually come down now. I did a podcast episode about this. So, it's been like in the past, say like about a week or so, and now App Store release times are dropping. So sometimes you get it even overnight or within 2 days. And I think there's been some changes, whether it's they put more people on it now, or there's now you can go through this test flight beta testing process. So if you send it through to your beta testers and then submit, it could be a lot faster as well.
They can expedite the listing.
Yeah, but I don't think that in my mind was a legitimate reason for making it so long either. So yeah. Yeah,
okay. Hey, now we did also touch. We had a bit of a chat about video channels, just saying that the rise of Facebook. I said I still think YouTube's very current. There's lots of talent. I think there's a bit of an arms race across in YouTube. There's been a land grab. Francis mentioned land grabs. I'm a believer in land grabs. It's kind of like the old gold rush. You go and put your pegs in the ground and you own that stake. Mind you, I think that's happening in the zone, the drone space with all these deliveries. We're still probably 3 to 5 years away, but there's a land grab. People want to get known for it. So when the big guys want to invest, they know to call Matt or Jamie or whoever. But I still think we're a while away from drone delivery, so it's a bit tricky to say. But Vimeo, we just...
we were riffing about that last episode.
Yeah, we had a chat about YouTube and Facebook, and then like, what else was around? And then Vimeo's still popular with creatives, but there seems to be a shared opinion that it's just great tool. It's got some really cool features. You can password block things. There's a really neat video on demand tool. So if you had a bunch of content and you wanted to sell it for $300 a year, you could list it through Vimeo video on demand, and they monetize it all for you. But I can never get the videos to play.
It
They
doesn't
always
work.
crash.
Like it just takes a while to buffer, and you just can't wait. Whereas YouTube, it just plays.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, and it's the same file, same quality. Yeah. I can't watch it on Vimeo, but anywhere, whenever I press go, it seems to work on YouTube.
Vimeo was always seen as like higher quality videos, like you said, for creatives, and then YouTube was like everything else. But then, I don't know, I think it was a user experience, like it just took a while to buffer, and then everyone just like, no, I've had enough, I'm going somewhere else. So.
And I'm coming around to the Gary Vee attitude, like I used to be really stubborn, but don't argue with the market. Yes, we can be creative and aloof and own a little creative ecosphere, but no one's looking or searching for your content there. I don't ever see Vimeo content surface in search results ever. So as a creator, I would want to get seen, whether I was a creator of a blog post or pictures or whatever. We've had some of our videos have surfaced through organic search rankings. We've been approached by GoPro and Toyota and Saatchi and a range of those guys who use our content. If we'd have put that same content on Vimeo, I don't think anyone would ever see it. And I regularly compare viewership rates.
Yeah.
Regularly compare, because we A/B test and we do all the best practice on YouTube. And so look, same as if you're a Medium or you're posting a blog or a website. You want to get really cool copy. You want to make it good tags. You want to tick all the SEO search boxes. Similar principles for video. You want to have a really good description and tags and title heading and all that stuff. But A/B testing, there's just like, no views. In Vimeo, but we've got more views in YouTube, and then as you said, even recently, even more views again in Facebook. But I think there's a bit of a vanity metric around Facebook. But some of those things will autoplay.
Yeah, so Vimeo I think just doesn't have the eyeballs anymore, and they're all on YouTube or on Facebook. And the other thing is like a lot of brands now are moving away from YouTube and to Facebook. They're finding better engagement and viewership on Facebook because it's got better sharing and community on there.
I think it comes down to channel strategy too, which way you want to go. If you had 1 million people, 1 million followers on Facebook, absolutely. But YouTube could be a nice way to get some organic into your funnel and then convert them back. But
it's just much harder to get a subscriber on YouTube compared to like a like on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, and the old Vimeo servers, they just don't seem to be able to handle it.
Do you still have a Vimeo account? Like, you're still using it? Or is this part of your distribution strategy?
I've got 2 files up there to test it. It's just painful. And I had like an upload. You only got 500 megabytes if I go over 500 meg. Whereas YouTube, I've got unlimited everything. I can live stream. I can do this and that. I've got mobile tagging. If I've got a video or a client's got a video, we can just click a button and turn that into a paid campaign for them. performance-only paid campaign to get more views. But then I said use that as a channel strategy to drive them back to a website or sign up or purchase something. So I don't think a goal for a brand should just be getting people to like your social channels, because technically YouTube owns the YouTube IP and Facebook owns all the Facebook IP. It's converting that time on site into paid. So as a brand, you probably want to drive them back to an owned property at some stage. And have a mix, and then have your funnel and conversion stuff. But it's interesting. But I know rave reviews around Facebook ads. Some friends and colleagues are having amazing responses and results from it.
Yeah, I had this interesting thought in one of my earlier podcast episodes where I said there's 3 certainties in life now. So one of them is death. The second one is taxes. And the third is the cost of Facebook ads going up. So they just keep going up over time. Like it used to be really cheap to run ads to get likes or downloads, all that kind of stuff. But then what happens over time is that more and more people get onto it and it becomes more and more expensive. Similar to like Google AdWords.
Yeah, the old PPC.
Yeah.
That bidding war.
It's almost like a land grab. And then like that channel quickly shuts down as more and more people get onto it. It's Andrew Chen calls it the law of shitty click-throughs.
Yeah, okay. I remember that from one of your talks.
Yeah.
One of your RRRs.
The pirate metrics. So, yeah.
But I think Snapchat's getting quite expensive now too for CPM. It was like looking at the rate.
I don't even know what's the rate card.
I can't. I'm going to get it wrong no matter what I say. But it was ridiculous. It was like $10 for 1,000 or something, which is ludicrous amounts.
That's very expensive.
Check it. Definitely check it, Your Honour.
We're not quoting you on This Mobile Life at all.
But it was really high. I was doing some reading. I'm like, holy cow! But I think they're measuring that or mapping that back to engagement. So advertisers are now rewarding engagement. Similar to we had lifestyle bloggers on Instagram. They had 1 million followers. There's like a reshuffle now. Like, we're all lifestyle bloggers and food bloggers, but the guys with high engagement, it could be a niche audience, but high engagement will start to sort of win more of those paid. Feature gigs.
I think it's something similar to what you're saying. Like, there's only going to be some properties people go to. You're not going to have the bandwidth to go to all these different things. I saw some research saying that I think most people use or have like about 30 apps on their phone that they actually use. And it's even a smaller percentage that they actually use all the time. And so I think it's like 30 or 40. But the other thing that's key is that people's like attention span on mobile is growing. Like they're using mobile more and more, spending more time on it, but it's still the same amount of apps. And it's really hard to get into that group and to get particularly on the home screen.
So it's like that home screen's a nil-sum game because you can only fit 6. So you're going to have to bump one.
Yeah, exactly. Or unless you have like a folder where you get multiple apps inside a folder. But the thing is, when I look at a lot of people's phones, they usually have the 4 like Facebook-owned apps, so Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Facebook. But also, people I'm looking at are obviously in the Western world as well.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, I was reading an article the other day saying that there's a new battle for social now, and I think you're going to love it. It's in Africa. So the Africa Messenger market is this battle between WeChat and Facebook Messenger.
That's it. I remember catching some headlines. Facebook wanted to give everyone free internet. Free internet.
They were flying drones and helicopters, not helicopters, but like balloons or blimps, whatever, and offering free internet to third world countries. Because I think they've run out of users to acquire.
But it was nearly like the old Netscape days where you'd come through our Netscape portal and Netscape would control everything. So I think they were giving you free internet, but it was all through this branded Facebook experience.
Yeah, you get free internet, but you have to use Facebook.
Yeah, you couldn't go to a competitor's site. I can't remember what happened. I remember reading there's a little bit of...
I think you could access a few sites, but like the main one was like through Facebook, I believe. And so there's a lot of like controversy around that. Because I mean, the ultimate game for them is for you to use it, connect with your friends. It gives them more data about you. So in like say 8 years, 10 years, when you get awesome internet access and everyone's got a mobile phone and whatever, they know a ton about you and they can advertise to you. Like
that's what YouTube's doing with its search. Its search history, its search data. This is an old case study. World Health Organization spent something like $150 million to predict outbreaks of influenza.
Yeah.
It took them 3 or 4 days to predict influenza outbreaks. Turns out Google can do that in a couple of hours because people start Googling fever. Yeah. So you get clusters of search data on fever and tissues, and you can make the assumption that they're going to get the flu. So it's like this crazy land grab for data, and then they use those insights back against it.
Yeah. So there's this battle right now because I think I wouldn't say it's fragmented, but like there's no clear winner, and Facebook right now is winning. There's like 10 million users and WeChat has 5 million. So I think it's Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, one of the two. And like that's used for like, simple text messaging and messaging, whatever. But WeChat, their angle is like we also do payments, we do all these other layers of things.
They're kicking butt, WeChat. They're doing all this stuff we haven't even heard about here. I remember you telling me and a couple other mates telling me about WeChat's doing some pretty sophisticated...
Yeah, it's like an operating system in Asia. So you can like book a taxi, you can like do e-commerce on there.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses now, when I talk to some in China, they're like, we don't want a website, we want a WeChat application website, like a mini WeChat website.
See, that's crazy.
Because they don't have Facebook, they don't have Google. How you advertise is through WeChat and through what's known as like KOLs, key online influencers, or key opinion leaders, I think is the term. Yeah. But basically like influencers, right? Yeah. So you advertise to them because they've got lots of WeChat followers. Yeah,
right. And so the apps and the channels out here haven't been going that fancy yet. I was quite impressed.
Yeah, it's like, I think Facebook announced a few years back, we're going to start doing payments, we're going to start doing all these things. And I'm like, well, WeChat had that for ages. They wanted to have stickers, and I'm like, Line and WeChat had that a long time ago. That's how they monetize their service, through selling stickers.
Yeah, okay. I think back in the day, it's a few years old again. You could have had like an online store on Facebook, but they seem to have dropped off somehow. They didn't really take off.
Yeah, but the thing is...
back then you could set up your account, you could be an individual organisation or a store. I hadn't ever heard of anyone going gangbusters with a Facebook store.
No, neither have I, but like they've got the eyeballs, they've got the engagement, they've got the platform now. Yeah. And they've started moving into like marketplaces. I've seen that. Like you can sell to your local network. So I think that eventually they'll probably take on like the eBays, the Gumtrees, and other online marketplaces.
So they've got the real estate, they've got the data. Social graph, I know there's a few headlines a wee while ago that that's what terrified Google. That's why they created Google Plus. That social graph. It wasn't the pure data, but was then the relationships between the people. That social graph layer.
It's interesting because you could argue that, as I was saying before, like Facebook as won or is winning the mobile war, like that era, right? Yeah, but the next era is like Ben Thompson from Exponent argues is like it's VR and AI, and Google has a huge advantage in that. Because they understand a lot more about big data. They've got very engineering focused. So an example was like when Facebook announced, hey, we're going to build an application, or we're going to basically take on the best Go player in the world. And Google announced the same day, we've already beaten the best Go player.
Yeah, okay.
So it was almost like a difference in like engineering.
An exponential.
Output and ability. So.
I can see that. Google it's just this amazing data behemoth. Patterns, insights, AI, machine learning and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still not totally sold on like VR, the goggle stuff. I've enjoyed playing Pokemon Go. I do get a bit shirty with it because it's I just want to shoot the monster and then go on to the next screen. I've got to wait 10 minutes while it animates and I get the egg. But I've enjoyed snacking on that. And I think that's a really neat way to augment. We've got Google Maps with like a gamification, but I'm learning about the local neighbourhood as well.
Yeah.
Because those little stop things we get Pokemon Go's, it's like here in 1963 is when the Balmain power station was kicked off. I would never have known that if I hadn't gone to get it.
So that was made by Niantic, who made a previous game called Ingress, and it was kind of similar in a way. But the problem was it was too hard to play. It's almost like they made a dumbed down version of it. Yeah, right. And they added this awesome brand behind it as well.
Yeah, connected with like a cult pop phenomenon.
It's like this hardcore fans like my brother who've played it like since late 90s and stuff. So yeah.
But it's something like that for a tourist app would be awesome because I use Google Maps nearly all the time. It's just great. And it's just that extra little augmented. I'm getting a bit bored of the gameplay, so it's a bit slow. I just want to shoot the monster, get my points, and go to the next
I'd argue that that's probably one of Google's best apps. Google Maps, it's like perfect on mobile. Like you need it when you're lost trying to find directions. Yeah. That and probably the Gmail app, and they're probably the two main apps that most people use that are Google properties.
I love Google Docs. For me, it still blows away Dropbox and all. I'm going to call all them stupid apps. You can probably make money, but I don't have to download the app. I just love that I can get on a conference call from the Middle East. I traveled through the Middle East. I ran the business from a mobile phone. Yeah. Check my emails. I could do a conference call and I could update a live document while everyone's on the call with the meeting notes done next.
Yeah.
I just like, I
believe in this world of mobile only as well. So mobile only means like, so you have this old notion of like mobile first. So you build something first for mobile and then replicate it to web. And then mobile only is like a segment of people that will never use the web product. So for example, you may, for a couple of days, may just only use Facebook mobile and you don't use Facebook web product. And maybe you're the same with other things as well. Like Instagram for a while was like mobile only and then later on had web. So I saw this interesting graph. It was about the US newspaper industry. And it said that like web properties was like this, like web only was like this low line. And then a bit higher up was like mobile and web. And then the highest one was mobile only. But people that only consume the news via their mobile phone.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think because we do video editing, we couldn't do that on mobile. So we're still going to need. We've got like a power PC with mega cores and water cooled this and that, and we've got a 21 terabyte RAID 6 server. We can't do that on a mobile phone. So we're stuck with some desktops. We've got laptops that we use. So if we're doing the business side, we'll be doing Excel spreadsheets. They're really hard on a mobile phone. But nearly all my news is on the phone.
Yeah, it's probably because you want to snack on it on the go. You want to catch up what's going on.
And I can skim read, but trying to do a multi-cell document or a client proposal, mobile, I want.
Yeah, you won't do that kind of thing.
It.
Yeah. The interesting thing is I use the Guardian app. I've been checking it out recently, and I get a lot of push notifications for like basically breaking news. Yeah. And I actually don't go to the app. I just get all the news from the push notifications, and it's enough because I just want to know what's going on.
The top trending stuff.
Yeah.
You trust the algorithm and
like it's just interesting world news. I just consume through my push. So
that's interesting. I used to use RSS a lot, man. That's just died. Once like Google killed RSS reader, I couldn't be stuff migrating and updating.
Yeah.
So I'm probably missing a lot of use. I just use Google Play news thingy now. Stuff comes through.
Okay.
It is interesting. Some Aussie publishers, Australian newspaper publishers, want to charge you to read their articles.
Oh yeah, like AFR and.
I just kill them straight away.
I think it's stupid. Like
it's all free, man. I can go to Reddit. I can go to the Bloomberg for free.
Yeah.
And in Bloomberg, it's breaking. It's an hour news.
Yeah.
The Aussie guys just buy it. Often the way news works, if you're in the Middle East, I'll pay you for you to send me the Middle East news, kind of like Reuters. You can subscribe to a Reuters service. So I'm AFR, it's not really my news. I'm reselling Reuters. So I'm like, well, why don't I just go to Reuters and get it quicker, better, faster, and for free? Or Bloomberg, quicker, better, faster, for free.
Yeah, the problem is now, like, you can go anywhere to get news, and they're not offering anything that's differentiated, right? No. And so I find that stupid. The other one that's stupid is it Business Insider or Forbes? I think it's Forbes, where
right.
If you go to Forbes, I can't remember which one, I'm pretty sure it's Forbes, like you can't actually read the article if you've got ad blocker on.
Yeah, I've had that with a few things.
Yeah, and it says continue to your site, and you can't continue because you've got this ad blocker on because you don't want to see their ads. And you're like, all right, I can just go somewhere else to find this type of news.
Yeah, I've had that on in Australia. I love SBS and ABC.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, there's no cooking shows and there's no home renovation shows or there's no footy. So I kind of love watching about intellectual things or arts or whatever. Yeah. But I do have the ad blocker on, and from time to time I get the pop-up going, oh my God, they try to scare you, going, oh, please turn off your ad blocker because it can cause instability and disrupt the service.
It's BS.
It's total BS. It works fine. And I remember there was a period where it didn't pop up, but it pops up now. But as I said, there's this trend to try and, I've seen a few little articles pop up in the feed about, there's a war on pay-per-click and stuff with ad blockers and whatever. They're really concerned about that. That's a big deal for them.
Who's this?
If you're selling banners and ads, that's a big deal with you. The rise of people using pop-up blockers.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to monetize? How can you prove that someone's seen the ad? What about your reach metrics?
But I argue that you need to change your business model, right? It's obviously not working. People are getting this for a reason. They're sick of seeing ads, and you're showing them that they don't really care about.
Yeah. Change the ad model somehow. It's like the torrenting model. LimeWire back, or LimeWire, or whatever it was back in the day. To embrace it. We should have learned from.
Yeah, or it could even be like you offer like sponsored content at the bottom, which for a different website. Because I've seen a few do that. I can't remember the exact name of it. A friend of mine works. I think it's Outbrain.
They're going gangbusters.
Yeah, because we know Yoav that works there. Used to be one of my managers at Next Digital, and so. They basically say at the bottom of an article, they may have other content from that site or from other sites. It's like almost like a paid listing on there. So that's an interesting model, I think.
I've clicked on a few of those. I've clicked on about a nutrition article, but I've actually gone to like a HelloFresh sign up now page.
Yeah.
So there are other ways to do it. I was a little bit shirty. I would have read a cool article brought to you by HelloFresh, but it was sign up now. I'm like, okay. Look, they could be testing. They've got to pay the bills. I can't get too upset. And I clicked on it. It wasn't forced. Wasn't forced on me, but yeah, interesting. I'm bugging, mate. I really need another beer.
Yeah, have some snacks.
Hey, now we've got this is the faulty card. This is the $30 card. It hasn't played up ever, and we brought the pistol to physically. It's symbolic. I know there's lots of gun violence. This isn't gun violence, but I said the card failed. Francis came across from San Francisco. We all got together. We had like $5,000 worth of gear piled in the room, and this little $30 card let everybody down. Okay. I think we've missed that. But I said we had everybody in the room. The 360 camera stopped. We restarted it. And I said the thing that failed is having all this expensive equipment was this little $30 card. So I brought that and the pistol just to symbolically give it some...
Shoot the card.
Yeah, just a kick in the butt. So should we
yes,
shoot the card? It might be a bit loud. So I'm going to hold it over here.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm out of bullets. Ah! We just got one. What a painful thing. Because we do video production, we record a lot of stuff to cards, so that's, for us, that's actually quite terrifying.
It's interesting because like I'm still new to podcasting. I've done about 12 episodes now, and I'm still trying to figure out how to record live. And it's obviously not that easy. You got to have a bunch of equipment. Yeah. You've got to have the recording's got to work, and then you got to do this like post-production editing as well.
Yeah. Well, we're testing some stuff today, so we've just got lapel mics on, which is cool. We could actually get up and walk around.
Yeah.
Because we're in 360. So we can just get up and walk around. Do some star jumps, yep. And we've got it in like a little portable recorder, but these are like $800 a pop, so $1,600. It's about $2,500 worth of gear, but we can just plug and play this, and we use this for clients. Like we'll go and when we go to a proper job events or whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I was chatting to Francis in the Lost episode, and he said he wants to do a podcast, but he doesn't know how to go about it. It's like podcasting has like barriers to entry, as does video production as well. It's not as easy as like taking a photo and posting on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, where do I start? What do I do? And like that's the problem with podcasting. Like you have to be somewhat technically savvy to put one together to some degree. So
I know when you started we had a chat. We still use the Rode Smart Labs.
Yeah.
So it'll just plug into your phone, but you mentioned it's hard with two people. If you had two people in a room, we've actually got 4 or 5 Smart Labs. So sometimes we use them as a backup, but we end up with 4 or 5 different files that we have to sync.
What I think I actually did one with Ping where we just pass a Smart Lab back and forth. But another way is like you sit really close, you can just clip it on like say your laptop or something, you can just talk into it as well. So that kind of works.
But then you mentioned if you had someone on Skype, it gets tough as well.
I haven't used it with Skype. When I use Skype...
You've got a different tool or?
Yeah, so I use a software called Ecamm. So Ecamm basically records the whole conversation, splits it in 2 tracks, and I use my Apple headphones. I found like if you're just starting out, using your Apple headphones, if you have an iPhone, it just works and it's really clear sound. And then use the voice memo app, which comes with your iPhone, or use some other app to just record. I mean, I just used GarageBand. I just talked into it, and it worked. And that's like the lowest key way to start. I think you are right. People go out, they buy expensive mics, or they get all this equipment. They don't know what to do. But try to think of the lowest key way to start. And I was following this other lady who has like a podcast. And basically, she just puts her phone into like this bowl because it's great for like audio.
That's how our ears are designed.
Yeah.
Parabolas, so I guess it's picking up everything around.
Exactly. And then has the voice memo app, turns that on, and just talks. They don't have any recording equipment, very low tech. And
with 2 or 3 people around?
Yeah, 2 people. I listened to the quality and it sounded fine. They use another app called Opinion, and it enables you to like edit. The track cuts out the end, the start and some other bits.
Yep.
And then from that app, you can actually post to like SoundCloud, iTunes, and whatever.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's all done. And they actually make a point not to do too much editing. They want it to sound raw as well.
I think that's the secret for anything. Even the YouTubers, right? Well, I get caught up in freaking out about gear and lighting.
Yeah.
Man, just get your phone and start doing kind of cool stuff. If the story and the content and you can engage people enough, it can float to the surface. There will be a point where you probably have to lift your game.
Yeah.
But people do find it intimidating, and I agree with you. Just get started.
Yeah. I mean, all of last week I've been watching videos on YouTube about the NBA, not NBA, but like the US basketball team. And
is it draft season? Is it some
they just had the draft, and they had some rookies playing, but it's like the US like first team, like the 12 best players in the NBA that are playing, and then they're actually practicing like one-on-one against each other, and they rotate after someone scores, the loser has to walk away, and the other person comes in to defend. And then someone has just shot the entire thing and practiced on their phones. They shot one of them with 6 players going one-on-one against each other, and then someone else has shot like the other end. And it's just fascinating watching. It's raw, it's uncut, and there's just players just kind of competing like at its highest level. It's like one-on-one, and you're allowed like 2 dribbles, and then you have to shoot.
Yeah, right.
So yeah.
Wow. I get that's the thing. You said it's authentic. It hasn't been polished. You're getting a bit of a behind the scenes.
And it's a little bit shaky, but that's totally fine. You're seeing what's happened behind the scenes. That's how they practice.
Well, I said mobile phone cameras shooting HD and 4K these days. It's amazing. It's better than the camera I had years ago that cost me $6,000. It's now got no value. We've got Moore's law. It's a bit of a leapfrog. But sound is a funny one. Like, we're in a quiet room. We actually turn the fridge off. You get a buzz. Sound's a funny one.
Yeah.
You can nearly have crappy video, but if you've got solid sound, it'll lift it. But you can have the most beautiful picture, but with crappy sound, people just innately don't get it. It's like a band that's playing out of tune.
Yeah.
They sound bad. You're not sure why. It's just something in us.
Yeah. I mean, I love my podcast, and I like podcasts and the sound of it because it's very like intimate. Like you can actually, the person is talking to you, and they can express their thoughts in a lot deeper manner than say like a blog post, a couple hundred words, or even 1,000 words. And it's like, like I said, it's like you're having a conversation with them. Like it's like they're a fly on the wall. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah, a bit off the cuff.
Yeah, and
I've done a couple with some friends, Iz and Todd, in 360. So we got in a Tesla and drove around for an hour and just spoke about tech nerdo stuff. And we did one in a Mustang, just to really test the 360 and just to have a bit of a chat. Because like you, I follow Joe Rogan and those guys. There's some really amazing, engaging podcasts out there. Yeah, mind you, I do them all through YouTube. I just hate freaking Apple iTunes. Great if you're a shareholder. Once again, I just want to do stuff. I don't want to have your app and update this. I'm more of an open source guy than a closed networks guy. And there's a place for closed networks and there's value, but that's just me personally rebelling. But
yeah, I mean, I like YouTube. I just go there just to kill time. I want to watch something later Saturday night. I just want to go there, have a look at something. It might be a Joe Rogan podcast, which they've shot the video for as well.
What do you think about 3-hour podcasts?
I think they're too long.
They are too long, but they're so bloody good. I'll stay up watching the podcast. I'm like, man, but a fan's gone through and cut them into 20-minute segments, which I can just snack on, which is what Vice is doing. Vice has this little, it's not too short, it's like 15 to 20 minutes, which I think is kind of a sweet spot.
But even 20 minutes, like you actually have, it's like someone might share it on Facebook, but I don't have the time to watch it.
Well, I think I think there's a relationship between length and virality and engagement. So you can create shorter pieces. We counsel clients 1 to 2 minutes. There's a lot of hard data around short is better. So we do regular YouTube training with their APAC experts or virtually, but they talk about length, and there's a way to measure engagement from your video. So as a producer, you can watch where people drop out and then start to optimize your length.
You know what's super interesting? Like there was a Google I/O event. Would have been a few months ago.
Is that light still on? Is there a flashing orange one? There'll be 2 lights.
Yeah. The flashing orange one is on. It's flashing.
Yeah, cool.
So there was a Google I/O event, and one of the big announcements they made was about Google Instant Apps. And so Google Instant App. So the problem with apps is you have to download the whole thing. And it's like a barrier to getting that app, right? So Google Instant Apps basically break up the app into like kind of like fragments or like components. And let's say you want to look at like a recipe of some thing that you want to make, right? So rather than have to download the whole app and look at the recipe, you just get the recipe, you just download that little fragment of it. It's like going on a web page.
That's kind of
And then if you like it, then you download the whole app. And it's almost like the whole idea of online video. So you don't have to show the whole movie, just show them like the trailer, the 2-minute clip. If they like it, go watch the rest of it.
That's interesting. I think Vice, well, because you know the brand Vice.
Yeah.
If you're exposed to it, you start to get a bias to like it. So and you're happy to invest 15 or 20 minutes into it.
Yeah.
But a 2 or 3 minute, or even a 5 or 10, like we got Vine, 30 seconds, Instagram. You've got a range of small to long clips. I wouldn't share at work. I wouldn't share a 2-hour clip with a mate at work because I know the poor guy's he's got stuff to do and he's gonna go, "What are you doing, you idiot?" So we've got our social equity that I want to maintain. So I'll send short snackable pieces. But I won't go and share a 1 or 2 hour.
Yeah, it's interesting how everything is moving to like shorter and shorter. So now you got Snapchat, which is like, I don't know, say 5-10 seconds and then like disappears.
Yeah.
But interesting thing is I've kind of moved against the grain, like with my podcast, and could go from like 20 minutes all the way up to like an hour. But I think like the users that listen, not users, but like, you know, my fans or the people that listen to it and, you know, my subscribers,
subscriber base,
people that I love out there, they are going to be more sticky as well. Like podcast subscribers are going to be more sticky. They're going to listen to more of it. They're going to come back as well. So.
I think with iTunes podcasts, you're getting a certain qualified audience already. So you're not trying to, you know, you're preaching to the converted. They might have podcasts for the train trip home or the drive home or the jog. So they'll have a bit of a sweet spot.
Yeah, it's funny how I use the term users. I think when you work in the industry, you're always using the term users, or you say customers, or I, or you. But yeah, it's an interesting.
Just that use case.
I actually use use case a lot. I actually believe that products work better if they're developed for like a specific use case. Always come back to that.
Gives it context, doesn't
it?
I
always say what's the use case for it, right?
Yeah, and it opens up. What you develop a shovel, what's it used for? To dig a hole, but it might lead to lead to better ways to dig a hole than just a shovel. So having a broader context, a functional context. Yeah, nice one, Matthew. How are we going for time, mate? We've got a couple of.
It says 1 hour 3. So is that?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. It's hour 3.
Probably.
Our audio's still going. We've got 360. I think we're going to run out of 360 soon. So.
I'm happy to call it a day. Finish recording. I think it's a good 1 hour.
Good. Oh yeah, we're doing 360 as well.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time.
No, it's
doing
a pleasure,
the
mate.
second, the redux, the remix.
No, so I was a little bit stressed out. I know you guys made the time, and Francis, who's sitting opposite us in the form of a massive.
You're here in spirit, Francis.
Protein gain box. Yeah, I know we had limited time with him, and I was really bummed out. And that card has been rock solid. We've used this for TV ads, everything for clients. So I was really quite rattled.
I think these things just happen.
Yeah, I know. And I love that you guys were quite weren't aggressively upset with me. I got off the phone. I spoke to my data guy. We ran 3 recovery tools over it. It's crazy. It just wasn't there. So
all good.
So thanks, mate. Appreciate the patience.
Cool. So we're going to wrap up this episode, This Mobile Life, Season 2, Episode 1. So see you guys soon.
See you guys.